Rockville is our city, and it's located just outside our nation's capital. It's an international city with a small town feel. What sets us apart is our sense of community, strong, stable neighborhoods, and a responsive and responsible city government. This is Rockville. This is where we live. The West End is one of Rockville's oldest neighborhoods. In 1890, the Julius West Farm was divided into West End Park by developer Henry Kopp. The project was the most ambitious subdivision project in Rockville in the 19th century. The location was touted as a place where you would find comfort, health, wealth, and a cultivated population. Lots sold quickly in the beginning, and the new residents started building large Victorian-style homes on the quarter-acre lots. Kopp's dreams were coming to fruition, but they were later halted by lawsuits and economic depressions, and all but 220 lots were auctioned off. Although the grand dream died, the neighborhood spirit he gave birth to lived on, and the West End is truly a special neighborhood. Rolling through the West End, you'll notice the neighborhood is well defined by its various architectural styles of the late 19th and 20th century home designs. The West End is home to a number of historic sites and houses the city's largest historic district. It's listed on the National Register of Historic Places and has been a local historic district since 1974. Through initiatives like these and dedication from its residents who have been good stewards to its historic landscape, the West End has retained its attractive character over the years. Phyllis Morrow first came to Rockville in 1955.
We came from Baltimore. My husband was at NIH, and a group of us moved to Rockville. The schools were good. The transportation was not bad then between here and NIH. We liked the small town feeling of Rockville. There was everything you needed within walking distance. There was grocery stores in those days, churches, schools were within, and the school system was good in Montgomery County.
One family, relatively new to the West End, appreciates the neighborhood's charm.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a big small town feel in this neighborhood. You can walk around here and feel like you're nowhere near Washington D.C., nowhere near a big city. There's lots of trees, lots of nature. It's a very beautiful area. It certainly doesn't have a super urban feel to it. But then you walk a little ways, a little distance away, and you have a much more urban area. So it's kind of great because you get the best of both worlds in that respect. When we first started looking around neighborhoods, we actually drove around a lot of the city. So we knew we wanted to settle here and wanted to look around at a lot of the different neighborhoods. And there are so many great areas to live in Rockville. But this one really caught our attention as being really close to, well, this was a little bit before town center was built, but really close to where we knew the town center was going to be. There was lots of great schools and parks and amenities around here, and just the overall feel of the neighborhood was really nice as we drove through it. You could see lots of people out walking around and strolling around their kids or walking their dogs, and had a great community feel to it.
We've really loved it the entire time. I tell people all the time how great our neighborhood is. We certainly like the fact that we're really close to the elementary school. It's been great for our family just a couple blocks away. We really enjoy the diversity of the neighborhood. I think there is sort of a perception that our neighborhood isn't very diverse, but we think that we're really fortunate that our kids have had the chance to go to school with kids from all over the world.
The neighborhood is pretty much the same, but you knew everybody because none of the women worked in those days. We all had small children. There were more children. There were a lot. We had our own play schools without a play school. It's still got a small town feeling, I like to think. And the Metro has been a big asset. You can walk to Metro, the town center. You still know a lot of people when you walk downtown. It's just a nice place to live.
The proximity to the Metro, even before town center was in there, you know, it's just great. If we need to, we can walk to the metro, and we're lucky we don't have commutes like a lot of people do, but a lot of our friends who live here in the neighborhood walk to the metro every day, you know, and then they don't have to drive, and that's really nice.
I actually think one of the more underrated aspects of this neighborhood is being close to Welsh Park. You have over there, you have the swim center and fitness center. You've got basketball courts, softball diamonds, and you know, lots of open grass where people play soccer, lacrosse, ultimate frisbee. There's a skate park nearby, which you can actually hear from our backyard, and it's fun to hear all the kids playing around and using it all the time. It is really fun to see a lot of the diversity in the housing. As you walk through the neighborhood, you have some of the really old houses, then you have a whole section of the housing that was built in the 1960s, and it really adds to kind of, I think, the appeal of the neighborhood, and it's very complex in terms of the housing, and so it makes it a lot more fun to be in.
It's not cookie cutter, and it sort of represents the different kinds of people that you have that live here. You know, in the different generations, we have some elderly neighbors and young families. It's really nice. We don't live in a historic home, obviously, although we love our home. But it certainly adds to the flavor of the neighborhood and the character of it. And, you know, you have to drive by a lot of the old Victorians to get to our house, because we're kind of buried in the neighborhood a little bit. And I love it. You know, I would love to live in one of those houses someday. They're gorgeous, and I think it's really nice that history has been preserved so well in Rockville, and that's sort of an important thing here in our neighborhood that adds to its character.
Preserving the past has ensured the future, as the West End's lore has remained the same across generations, which is evident in why these residents chose to live in this neighborhood.